blink.
What?
The light went.
It's, yes, starting, it says on it. Technology. All right. I think we are going. So I just don't know if we're going to get to be able to see ourselves. As
Yeah, that's kind of odd. So let's do a celebration.
So what yeah.
Happy 12th night!
Happy 12th night!
Yes, well.
Awakening all the neighborhood and terrifying the cats in the household here. So we have no idea if we're going. It's counting 14 seconds, so I think that it's probably going.
Oh, there's, whoop, I just saw a little thing.
Customize, got it. Okay, hang on, I'm coming right toward the screen. This is our first one, some troubleshooting. Okay, now we can see ourselves, and I'm going to make sure that we've got our chat on. There's Mom right behind me. Look, she's on the other side. So I believe we'll be able to see what folks are commenting on as well. So, hello, one viewer. We don't know who you are, but thank you for joining us so far. Oh, it's Meg. It's our other sister. It was Meg.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So we are, as we start to troubleshoot. So anyway, welcome everybody. My name is Rebecca Waff Cope, and this is...
I'm Ellen Waff. And we love customs and folklore, so we are presenting you with some of the folklore that goes with this particular time of year.
Exactly. This is also Mama Waff, and I'm waffling number 3. And a big shout out to our wafflings out there in the world, of which there are several.
7, 8, I don't know, a lot, yes.
And adding more all the time.
Which
Applications are available. No, I'm just kidding. So we thought we would try this out. Gilly Girls for us is a Facebook page that we wanted to do together that really just celebrated, as Mom said, the traditions and songs, the arts, beautiful things in literature, poetry, inspirational things. You know, really just being able to share our joy of life and delve into these things that we like learning so much about as well. You want to tell them a little bit about your own background?
My own background. Well,
just
I don't know.
Some of what you focused on over time, I guess. Or?
Yes, English, Scottish, years of studying European folklore in particular. I love European, Scandinavian, Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian, German. There are so many. I have books up there on all of it. And and then we found out tonight that the wood that Rebecca picked up today is from Latvia.
Yeah, and that horrified us until we actually, I mean, they say it's heat treated and there's nothing that can grow on it anymore. And it was a desperate last move on my part so that we could have our 12th night fire.
Which we do!
To drive the dark away.
Well, the dark is going to be happier because we also are going to toast everyone with wassail.
Or wassail, I guess.
Or wassail, yeah, wassail. Yes, which is an Anglo-Saxon term, meaning be healthy.
And we like that. We all need that.
Yes, it's essentially a toast, vice hail, so good health.
And yep, that is a great toast. We're going to get to that in just a minute as well. So, wassailing or wassailing with the Waffs is why we called it that. So it's 12th night. We talked about it being 12th night. So what is 12th night? Is it the 12th day of Christmas?
No, because tomorrow is the 12th day of Christmas.
Okay.
With the drummer boys and all that stuff, which I tried valiantly to not even think about this year.
Why
no
not?
12 days of Christmas because of
brainworms.
Yes.
Things, songs that don't leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've sung these things so many times. Anyway, so yes, tomorrow is the 12th day of Christmas, but it's also the beginning of the next season. It's the Day of the Three Kings, which, as most of you know, is celebrated in the Hispanic community extensively. The Three Kings bring presents to the little children. Funny how all of these holidays seem to involve bringing presents to little children,
which is awesome.
or possibly adults drinking adult beverages.
Adults drinking, kids getting presents, kids are distracted, moments of peace for everyone.
There are so many entities who bring presents to children. It's truly amazing.
Well,
starting on December 6th with St. Nicholas.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And on and on.
St. Nick. Definitely.
Yes,
I think I forgot to mention who I actually am too in this whole thing. Right? I'm Rebecca, and I'm her daughter, as we mentioned. But yeah, as far as my background, I do things like environmental education and nature programs. Also, lots of things with the arts. And I've got a new site that I'm starting called Posy. It's posync.com with lots of programming. So we're going to kind of toggle between those two sites, between this one with Gilly Girls and things that we do together. And we hope to do a lot of seasonal celebrations as well, and helping folks to learn more about what is just outside your door, things on your lawn. We've got one video we've done already with Gilly Girls on that, early spring flowers, and so we do hope to do a lot more of that. And so this is in the same kind of vein. And I'm so happy Mom moved down. She moved down about 2 years ago. We had to do long distance celebrations for a lot of things, talk a lot on the phone, still do that. But it's really nice to be able to be close. We would drive up to Connecticut and other places where they've lived, but it's really nice to be here. And we certainly miss our friends that we used to see on Christmas Eve. We used to do a big celebration and serve lots of different treats. We got those this year too.
Yes.
But things like, we'll talk about a drink that we would like to serve with our friends a little bit later as well. But anyway, so back to Twelfth Night. Yeah, Twelfth Night. So as Mom said, it's not the 12th day, but the 12th night.
The evening of the 12th. If you look at folklore, a lot of times things were celebrated in the evening before, like Halloween, which is the even before All Hallows Day or All Saints.
So you can sleep it off the next morning.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, convenient.
But actually,
yes,
so speaking of that, we actually need somebody else here because Twelfth Night is really not a full celebration unless we have
the Lord of Misrule.
The Lord of Misrule. And so I'm going to take this opportunity to undress. Da-da-da! No, but what I'm going to do is I thought I should wear my Drosselmeyer jacket, who is kind of like a Lord of Misrule.
He was.
He was a magician, right? So we have to have our various tricks that we can do, like taking our silks and changing their colors, right? Yeah, I'm not practice, but woo, right? So woohoo! Not into the fire.
The Lord of Misrule was in charge of things being backwards,
like my hat.
Children being in charge of things. It was a tradition. I have this great book. It's called Christmas Customs and Traditions. I've had it for many years. I believe. Well, it's one of the ones that informational is a Dover book. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Love Dover publications.
And it says mention must be made of the personage who played an important part in the Christmas of the Tudor court and appeared in also in colleges, inns of court, and the houses of nobility. The Lord of Misrule. He was usually elected to preside over the revels. Whoops. Had a retinue of courtiers and was surrounded by elaborate ceremonies. He seems to be the equivalent and was probably the direct descendant of the abbot or the bishop of the Feast of Fools, who will they will talk about that later in this book. Sometimes he was actually called the abbot of Misrule. He was a parallel to him is a Twelfth Night king, and he appears to be a courtly example of temporary monarch of folk custom, though his name is sometimes extended to kings of quite vulgar origin, elected not by court or gentry, but by the common people. Oh no, well you do look like that. You look like you're quite common, yes.
Oh.
And it is the Lord of Misrule, this says, was among the relics of paganism most violently attacked by Puritan writers. So anyway, it's quite interesting. There's a lot more about it you can find here and there, and it's well worth looking into. We often saw that if you went to revels, and any of the revels, Washington revels, there are revels in Portland, San Francisco, Boston, all over. Anyway, they often would have a Lord of Misrule of one sort or another. Our favorite one is Mark Jaster,
who does juggling way better than I can. I'm sitting down, of course, too. I just learned to juggle scarves for when I did Drosselmeyer.
I wouldn't get near the fire, though.
I'm trying not to get too close to the fire. Ah! So, anyway, yay!
Right.
We are so extra goofy, but hopefully you like that.
So we, since you're the Lord of Misrule, you have to be in charge of the ceremonies.
Oh, I guess so. So let me start us out then with my stick of the beaver. My husband told me not to call it the beaver stick. So we will open up the ceremonies. I must tell you, by the way, that I was gifted this beautiful walking stick by a child at historic Yates Mill County Park, where I just retired from last Friday. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! High five, Mom. And she gifted this to me at the end of a program. She was so proud, brought it up to me, and I feel it has great power. So we will wave it like the bladder on the stick that the Lord of Misrule will wave sometimes. I hear that had something to do with executions, like he would ceremoniously bop people over the head.
Maybe it was a Feast of Fools thing.
Yeah,
it was part of the Feast of Fools.
So
because that's what a fool carries, is a bladder. I believe that our dear friend Rich Potter has one.
Oh well, he would be a fool,
properly
trained
He's
as a professional clown.
Fool.
Some of our other friends as well.
Indeed, he is. So now we need to do the toast.
Perhaps? I guess we should, right? I mean, it's not 12th night without drinking. Not that we're promoting everything in moderation, right? My husband might add, including moderation, but everything in moderation. So let's see. We've got some nice glog, right?
Well, actually, no. This is
wassail. This is wassail. So glog is different.
Yes, and this is wassail made in the traditional fashion. Although I didn't have any cinnamon sticks, so it has cinnamon in it.
So what is it then?
It is apple cider, and there's a reason for that we will talk about in a bit. And cinnamon and clove and ginger. There are probably some other things we could put in, and it does have a dollop of rum. Black rum.
And orange, right? We put
orange
slices in it as well.
And you can also put apple slices or whole apples, crab apples in there, and you can put lemon slices. I didn't do that, but I could have. Wassail, and you can do glog. Glog is a very nice thing. That's wine-based, but spiced wine with extra stuff in it too, like brandy.
So nice. So I'm pulling open one of the songs that we've got a couple of wassail songs that we like, but one of the lines I liked was talking about how it would be fine. Oh, here it is. So there was an old man and he had an old cow, and how for to keep her he didn't know how. He built up a barn for to keep his cow warm, and a drop or two of cider will do us no harm.
Us and probably the cow too. She'd probably like it.
For it's your wassail, and it's our wassail, and it's joy be to you, and a jolly wassail.
Vice hail. Have a healthy, happy year.
Oh, please, to all of us, for sure. Cheers.
Now, it should be got a little cooler, but it's still very nice.
Can't take me
and
anywhere.
We wish that you had some too, and maybe.
But you
do.
can, and we have recipes, right? There's things that we can share that's related to that. We
Well,
can post some later on. We can share a couple of the recipes maybe on the Gilly Girls page later on.
Right, but yes, I didn't use a recipe, but you could.
You never
and
use
it's
a recipe.
nice with cinnamon.
She doesn't measure anything usually either.
No, it's nice with cinnamon sticks and actual cloves or cloven orange. You can put cloves in the orange and put it in there. I mean, there's
that would
lots
be
of
very
fun
nice.
fun things you could do.
I could
And
see
I'm sure
that.
there are people out there who could tell us more about other things you can do with wassail. I hope our
And we
our fire's getting
love
small.
sharing. Yeah, well, we're going to keep going here and see. So let's see. Traditions related to wassail and wassailing, right? Folks would travel around and sing to their communities and be let in, right? And ask for a little bread and cheese, I think, and some drink
Or
as
other
well.
things, yeah, drink.
Or
Actually, there's the butler. Please to fill us a bowl of the best. That's the best ale, and we hope that your soul in heaven may rest. But if you do fill us a bowl of the small, and small ale is like very little alcohol in it. It's like a secondary thing.
Kind of like what we have right now.
Devil take butler bowl and all.
Oh my! Oh, and there's a wassail bowl, isn't there?
Yes.
And it's
White maple.
white maple.
Wassail is made of the white maple tree.
And this wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
Wassail, wassail,
Sail all over the town.
our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made from the white maple tree.
Apple tree? No.
No, with a wassailing bowl
She's
we'll
better at this than me.
drink to thee.
Which is why I wrote the words down and then totally didn't refer to them right then.
But there's so many verses too, because three
yeah.
verses refer to cows.
Cows are good. We like
Ears
cows.
to fill pail and to her left ear. May God send our master a happy new year. And a happy new year that may he will see. With our wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
Oh, yes. Well, that's a good one.
And then there's the maid in the lily white smock who trips to the door and pulls back
The lock.
Who pulls back the lock and opens the pin and lets the jolly wassailers in.
Wassail! Yeah,
Shame on
you let
her.
them in. Yeah, really. I'll have to think the couple, you know, the master and the missus just wanted to hang out by the fire. But instead they had to toast with all the local folks, the kids of your
They
neighbors,
did.
right?
They did. That was the tradition until I can't give it a year. But things changed radically in England. There's a very sad carol called Well-a-Day or Christmas Lamentation that's talking about when all of those traditions went away. They were the wealthy, instead of living in their mansions in the countryside and doing all of the things that they had always done, provided food, celebration, alcohol, money, special things. They went and stayed in London. The wealthy
neat.
family.
Oh,
well,
wow.
no, because it left all of the people without anything.
Oh.
They once where Christmas customs, once a place that did Christmas customs keep, now has become a habitation for sheep.
Oh.
Well-a-day.
Wow.
Well-a-day is a sad word.
Oh,
It's
sure.
woe.
Huh.
Yeah, Christmas is my name. Long have I gone without regard. And it's a very sad carol, but it's a carol.
Let's move on to the happier parts then. Back
Anyway,
to the happy stuff. Yeah.
But things did change. It's the same thing as the clearances, essentially, where people got shoved aside and the wealthy started keeping their money and not feeling they had to share it.
Sure.
So,
But not today. Because
No.
today the Lord of Misrule is more like the king.
yes,
Right?
and he can
Right?
make
Everything
things
is
happen.
on its head. So a chance to do something different, to have a little freedom, to have a little fun. And to make sure that you have a good harvest, I think, right? For the next season, at least as
Well, it
far
always
as the
is, and that's
apples are concerned.
right. It's the apples.
Don't we need to do some sort of
We
homage to
do.
the apple trees, I
Yes.
think? Right?
Today is the day that you go out with your wassail or just plain apple cider. There were a few other things they did too, which I might mention after. But and sang to your apple tree so that your apple tree would have a specifically good year and present you with a good harvest.
It might be like the spirits of the apple tree, or whatever you want to think in that way. Or maybe they just like good songs. Who knows?
So we can sing the apple tree song.
Oh well, let me pull my words open then.
Okay.
And my words might end up being a little different.
Yeah,
from
they
Mom's
seem
because
to.
these are
slightly.
ancient tunes, right? And so I mean, for hundreds of years they change sometimes in different ways. But this is the old apple tree wassail. We wassail thee.
Okay. Well,
right. It says it's from 1585 Kent, at least from what I found.
that's pretty nice. Yeah, Suffolk. They did it in mostly in southern England.
Okay.
Old apple tree, we'll wassail thee and hope that thou wilt bear. For the Lord doth know where we shall be to be merry another year. To blow well and to bear well, so merry let us be. Let every man drink off his cup. Here's a health to the old apple tree. To blow well and to bear well, so merry let us be. Let every man drink off his cup. Here's a health to the old apple tree. Now you can do the rest of it.
Okay, let's see. So, we've got old apple tree, we worship thee and hope that thee will bear hatfuls, capfuls, 3 bushel bagfuls, and a little heap under the stair. For we'll bloom well and bear well, so merry let us be. Not every man take off his hat and shout out to the old apple tree. Apples now!
Yes!
Or as they would say in the Rebels, right?
Yes.
Don't they do that too?
Yes. Hats full, caps full, bushel bags full, and a little heap under the stairs.
So you heard that in the song that I was singing, but in Rebels they made it into more of part of a theatrical declaration, which is always fun.
Hooray!
Hooray! Yes,
Hooray! Apple
I
tree.
could work on that a lot more. I promise I'll practice next
And the
time.
apple
song's
tree
a
in
little
the
better.
picture on Facebook is an apple tree that I planted and I wassailed. But she lives in Connecticut, so.
Yeah, she misses her trees, but there's lots now too. We've got good trees around here. My poor apple trees at my property are just pitiful, and I'm going to have to really go home and inundate them with wassail. I don't know. They need lots of love. So let's see. I think we've kind of covered the traditions. I mean, they'd even take wassail-soaked bread apparently and put them on the trees or drape them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's something else they did too, which is what I had alluded to before. They'd shoot a shotgun through the branches of the tree. Now I'm not sure if that was a subtle hint to the tree to please
threatening the
I'm
tree.
not sure, because that's also how they harvested mistletoe in the South. Anyway.
Oh, sure. And there's plenty of mistletoe around here in the trees.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
for
You
sure.
just put a shotgun in with birdshot, probably.
Yeah. Look for the little pom-poms right now. If you see a tree, like a deciduous tree that's lost its leaves, or most of them at this point, if you see a bright green pom-pom of color with white berries, for instance, that's probably the mistletoe. It's a parasitic or saprophytic plant that lives on other plants. A lot of oak trees around here, elm trees seem to have them, maples I think sometimes. So yeah, you'll see that around here. Definitely part of the holiday traditions as well.
Right.
So I think tomorrow is going to be the 12th day
Yes.
of Christmas.
And also,
But before we get to that, I think if we weren't going to do wassail or wassail, there was another drink that you said that we might be able to do.
that we need to talk about, and it was these days. It seems to show up at Thanksgiving, and then it's around till Christmas and disappears. What?
Hint.
Yeah, hint. But in the past, it really was used into January as well, and that is eggnog. Eggnog.
A lot of eggs.
Yes, a lot of eggs. I will read you a special recipe.
These are for my kids.
We've made this eggnog, but we made half a recipe, and we may have stinted on the alcohol because of this. This is from Mary Mason Campbell, her cookbook that was illustrated by Tasha Tudor many years ago. It's a delightful book. There's the Buttery Shelf cookbook. There's also
She has a lot of cookbooks.
the Buttery Shelf Almanac. This is called Grandfather's Eggnog. Grandfather demanded full cooperation and attention from us all when he was ready to mix his eggnog. It was made in 2 important steps. His first step was the mixing of liquor, eggs, and milk. This was done the night before the party, then kept in a cold, not freezing place. And in those days, you had a lot of places in your house that were like that. We understand because our house in Connecticut was built in 1742, and it had a lot of really cold places.
If you were in the snowstorm of recent days, you probably have a lot of cold places.
So place, kept in a cold place until just before serving. The second step was beating the egg whites and cream and folding in the first mixture. He presided at the serving bowl when all was ready with a grand flourish. He ladled the eggnog into cups, grated nutmeg into each cupful, wishing each guest a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
For the grating of the nutmeg, he used an 18th century silver grater shaped like an acorn.
Oh, that's neat.
Kind of nice.
All right, we like
Raleigh.
that. Raleigh, the city of oaks.
Yes.
We like that. That's a good
So
thing.
this is the recipe. 1 dozen eggs.
That's a dozen eggs.
1.5 cups of sugar. 2 quarts of rich milk. Now, rich milk means when you have a cow, that's the top milk, where there's some cream in it. 1 teaspoon of salt. Now that's really, well, they put salt in everything. 1 quart of heavy cream.
You're going to get in trouble for that statement. They put salt in everything.
They did.
Anyway.
They did.
Oh, historically, not now. It's fine.
No, they did put salt in everything.
Okay.
And now here's the part that surprised us. 1/5 of good bourbon whiskey, and 1/5 of good French cognac.
That will make your nose red.
Feast of fools,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That will do the trick.
Separate the eggs, beat the yolks well until smooth, beat it in a 1/2 cup of the sugar, add the milk, and beat well. Slowly pour in the liquor and mix thoroughly. Pour into a gallon jug and keep in the buttery or an ice box until just before serving. Then, in a bowl, beat room temperature egg whites with a teaspoonful of salt until stiff enough to form peaks. Slowly add the remaining cup of sugar, still beating. So you're doing
a lot of beating.
Stiff egg whites, probably stiff in peaks. In the bottom of the chilled eggnog bowl, put the quart of heavy cream, which has been stiffly whipped. Now, you can whip cream by hand. I do it all the time. It just takes a lot of that.
It's easier though, right? I mean, with making any whipped cream, if you take your beater and put it in the freezer and your bowl as well.
You keep everything
Get
cold.
everything chilled.
Yeah.
And do not, I repeat, do not use light cream. Whatever you do, it will not actually work.
No.
You just keep beating forever.
Combine the egg whites with the liquor mixture, then fold in the whipped cream. Stir and dip and mix thoroughly with a silver ladle.
Oh, a silver ladle.
Well,
I didn't think we have any bean commoners.
Serve in silver or glass punch cups and grate nutmeg on each serving. So there you go. You can make your special eggnog because tomorrow is also...
No, today.
Oh, today.
Today is
sorry.
National Whipped Cream Day!
Woo!
That's my favorite. I love whipped cream. And I need it. I need a lot of fat.
You use it all.
And I guess at this time of the year, maybe we all do, right? A little extra fat to get us through the winter time, as long as we're all moving around and doing other things
I
too.
don't think I have a problem with that.
But, you know, fattening us up and packing up the little chipmunk cheek pouches anyway. Yeah.
Stay warm.
So, whipped cream, though, is my favorite. We just couldn't figure out how to quite make that work with what we've got. We've got a cake here we're going to have here in a second,
right,
too.
that's the other thing about, that's the thing about tomorrow.
The thing about tomorrow. That's a good quote. That could be a book. The thing about tomorrow. Anyway, but we have an extremely decadent, I can't afford these anymore because I'm now retired, but a king cake, a galette
de roi.
Gotta roll the R.
Roi. Yeah, which is the cake of the king, but it's French and it's different from a king cake. A king cake in New Orleans, or the Gulf Coast, which we lived down there for 3 years, is a yeast coffee cake with frosting and colored sugar. It's special colors, purple, green, and gold. But a galette de roi it's made with puff pastry and frangipani almond filling. Yes, and but they all share a characteristic, which is, at least the New Orleanian ones have a baby, a plastic baby in them.
Might destroy the baby.
You can't destroy it as plastic.
I'm cutting.
Now, there might be a baby, but the traditional galette de roi had a bean and a pea.
Oh, because the Lord of Misrule is the Bean King.
Yes.
I'm going to cut
and
my
so
leg.
the fellow who got the bean was either became the Lord of Misrule, or possibly for the next year, or he was king for a day,
King for a
which in the
day.
past, king for a day might not have been a very safe thing to be.
Yeah.
And the pea,
Some
and
were
why
only king for a day.
why the bean is the guy and the pea is the woman, I don't know. But if the woman gets the pea and she's queen for a day,
As long as she doesn't sleep
and if the guy
put it under her mattress and try to sleep later.
no,
because
that's
I hear
true.
they're
Yeah,
very
that's a
uncomfortable.
problem. And but if the man gets the pea, he gets to choose a queen for the day, and if the woman gets the bean, she gets to choose.
I hope
the
they're
king.
not married.
Well, who knows? I wouldn't even want to think about that. That
Don't
looks just
Don't
lovely.
ask questions.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see
safer.
here. If I can, I'm doing this on my lap, so
Yeah,
so you can see this. We'll put it on a. Would you
we
want
just
to
want to make sure
bring that
this
closer to the camera so they can see what that looks like?
Okay.
I'm sorry you can't have any, but La Farm Bakery is here in town, and they're really lovely. And there's lots of
It
other
looks
places
just
that
beautiful.
have been making these kinds of things too. So we're very lucky. We may have a problem with liking baked goods too much.
Yes.
Possibly
I make a lot of
could
baked
need an intervention.
I don't think so.
So help me. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, don't, because it's all just wonderful. Alrighty, so we'll have I guess you need a fork.
Fork.
Although we're commoners, so we should eat with our
We
fingers.
wish we could
I'll just do
share
this.
with you.
See, I just didn't even use my fork.
It does. It smells interesting.
It's good.
The middle is
Mostly
almondy.
puff pastry. A lot of it. I don't see.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Oh, that's good.
it is good. I bet it goes good with Wassailing. Wish
Yeah.
you were here.
Yeah, well, maybe we should put this down and
As a wrap up.
Yes.
But it's good. But and aren't I supposed to we got a little coin.
Oh
of,
yeah.
You got to stretch my coins to pass that out, and I guess I can't quite remember. But one of the songs had the coins. These are my little replica coins.
Well, it's really interesting that
find that.
most folk custom, and there's a lot of different ones, as you know. In Wales, there's the Mari Lwyd, who comes around during the Christmas season.
That's a horse, right?
Yeah,
A horse.
she's this horse skull.
That's right.
Very
yeah.
scary. And snaps her jaws and tries to get in your house, and you have to pay her off in various ways.
And ways to
keep her.
basically share wealth with your community, right? I think a little bit.
Well, every
some
single
ways.
folk tradition that I know of, the hunting of the wren, that's the 26th of December, where the boys used to actually kill a wren, but now they carry
We
an
don't
effigy of a wren around on a
We don't like that part. Yeah, the effigy is
on
better.
a bier and stop at people's doors and sing songs and ask for beer, money, food. They all involve asking for beer, money, and food.
Well, but we know what we like. And the other song, one more song, and we'll kind of wrap this up. But the wassail song to celebrate the New Year, the Here We Come a Wassailing, right? That part? Here, if you want to start it.
Here we come a wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Not practice.
Yeah, no, we just made it up.
Yeah, we like to sing ditties. And one of the lines in this song, by the way, is we've got a little purse of stretching leather skin. We want a little of your money to line it well within. So, pretty funny. And bring us out a table and spread it with a cloth. Bring us out a moldy cheese and some of your Christmas loaf. Or loaf. And then finally, God bless the master of the house, likewise the mistress too, and all the little children that round the table go.
Go. No.
Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. Yay!
Hooray!
Happy New Year to
Same
all
to
of
you.
you. Have a sip. And we're going to sit here by the fire and enjoy our cake. And we hope that you will have a wonderful new year and tune in every once in a while to see our super goofiness. And hopefully you learned something. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And
We
if you
do want your
things-
feedback.
Yeah,
Because
feedback.
this is new to us.
Absolutely. We're definitely on a huge learning curve.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear your traditions, actually. You know, if
Yes,
you've got
indeed.
other aspects, we love learning about
Yeah, lutefisk we could do. Jane Sibley could tell us all about lutefisk. Or Burketta Nostrum.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
fermented
for another day.
fish.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was on the fish laughing
Scandinavian.
song, but that's different. So,
Yes,
alrighty.
Christmas.
So,
That's it, Christmas.
dun 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 dun.
Ta-da.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye. Mom says goodbye, and so do I. So have a wonderful day. Bye bye.